When Lin and two friends reached the river that night, a thick wall of reeds stood across the path. Lin had walked past the same place only a few hours earlier. The path had been completely open. Now the reeds rose above the boys' heads. They pushed through one at a time. When they came out on the other side, they could no longer see the river. They could not even hear the water. There were only weeds and low earth mounds. This happened in the late 1980s, when Lin was 11. He lived in a small village in northeast China and often went to the river with Chen and Wei. It was the 14th day of the 7th lunar month. Before dark, Lin's parents told him to stay home. His mother added, "Don't go near the river tonight." Lin did not think much of the warning. The boys planned to catch fish, so after dinner, he slipped out with an old battery rig and two metal poles. Everything looked familiar until they reached the reeds. None wanted to turn back, so they went in. A few minutes later, Chen touched Lin's shoulder. He said something dark had moved beside them. Lin looked back but saw nothing. "Probably a dog," he said. They kept going until the reeds opened onto dry ground. Tall weeds covered the area, and low mounds rose around them. The river should have been close, but there was no sound of water. Wei said they must have reached the wrong bend. Lin was not convinced, but they had no better explanation. They went back into the reeds to find the way home. Then Chen saw the dark shape again. Lin and Wei went with him to look, neither wanting to admit they were frightened. About 30 meters away, they found a drag mark in the dirt. Several reeds were bent, with feathers near their roots. The trail ended beside one mound, where a round hole opened in the earth. Lin crouched and reached inside. His hand closed around fur, and he pulled out a yellow weasel with a small bird in its mouth. The animal twisted. One boy swung a metal pole, the battery cracked, and the weasel disappeared into the weeds. They gave up on fishing and started toward the village, though Lin no longer knew which way they had come. The mounds looked alike, and weeds hid the paths between them. A few minutes later, Lin's right foot sank into soft earth. He tried to lift it but could not. Chen and Wei pulled until his foot came free. A strip of old gray cloth was wrapped around his ankle several times. It looked like part of an old shirt or trousers, but they found no knot. They pulled at it. It would not loosen. Then the strength went out of Lin's right leg. He could stand while the others held him, but he could not move his foot. Chen and Wei put his arms over their shoulders and dragged him across the field. After 20 or 30 meters, the cloth slipped from his ankle. As soon as it fell, Lin could move his leg again. The three boys ran home. Lin's parents were furious until they saw the swelling around his ankle. His right leg remained swollen for several weeks. The next morning, his father took him back to the river. Lin searched for the place where they had entered the reeds, but the path was open. There was grass along the bank, but nothing tall enough to hide a child. His father told him the dry field nearby had once been used as a burial ground by another village. The low mounds were old graves. Lin knows that 3 children could have lost their way in the dark. That may be how they reached the burial field. But he has never found an ordinary explanation for the cloth around his ankle. Whenever he thinks about that night, he returns to the same detail. Only a few hours earlier, the path beside the river had been completely open. Subscribe to Mistcurrent Stories for more strange local legends and unexplained encounters.